Hello, we are looking at your geometry part 1. This is a new chapter. This is chapter 3, section 1. It's talking about lines and angles. And as we explore through lines and angles, I want us to look at problem 1, which is on page 141 in your textbook. This is just simply identifying non-intersecting lines and planes. First of all, it's going to ask you a few questions and hopefully just kind of make some points by this. A part says, what segments are parallel to AB? So if we look carefully, AB is right here, going this direction, kind of frontwards and backwards in this three-dimensional demonstration here. Now, what segments are parallel to that? It's any segments that are going the same direction but will never cross AB. So it can't be these because they intersect AB. So it would have to be DC, HG, or EF. That would be the three that are parallel to this one. And if you'll notice, it looks like they're the edges of the box all the way around that particular box. Okay, so that's a good way to look at it. The B part comes along and says, well, which segments are skewed to CD? Now, the word skew here means that the lines do not cross, but they are not parallel either. They're not going in the same direction, even though they're not going to cross that particular line. So CD is right here. So I need lines that are not going to cross CD, but that are not parallel. The parallel ones would be AB, EF, and HG again, because that's just another edge of the box. So we don't want those. We want ones that are going in different directions, but are still not going to cross this line right here. And here's one, BF. That line right there going up and down is going a different direction, but it's still not going to cross CD. Another one would be EF. I'm sorry, not EF. EH. This one's going this way, while this one's going this way. It's like two planes crossing. One would be flying up here, the other one would be flying down here. And they're not going to cross or crash into each other. They'll cross over, but they won't touch. They'll never touch each other. Another one, because EH works, so would FG down here. FG and DC, again, they're on two different planes. And so this one's going to go this way, and this one's going to go this way. And then finally, the other one would be AE. AE is going up and down just like BF was. And this one's going this way. This one's going to keep on going on and on this way. This one's over here going up and down. So when lines are going in different directions but are still never going to cross each other, that's what we define as the word skewed. C part. What are two pairs of parallel lines? Planes, excuse me. Parallel planes are, remember, a plane is a two-dimensional shape. We represent it almost like a rectangle, but the top and the bottom, those would represent planes that are parallel, because that's never going to cross, the top one's never going to cross the bottom one. This left one over here is never going to cross this right one over here. This front one here is never going to cross this back one back here. So there's several pairs of parallel lines. They name a couple of them there. Notice how you name a plane. Plane ABCD, which is that top one, is parallel to plane EFGH, which is the bottom one, just like we said. That one's parallel to that one. Another one would be plane DCG. And remember, you don't really need all 4 points. You can name a plane simply by 3 points. 4 is okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but you can name those by 3 points. So anyway, plane DCG, which is actually this side one over here, this right side. So the one that's parallel to the right side would be this left one. So they said ABF. Okay, and again, you could have said all 4 if you wanted to there. And then finally, D, what are the two segments parallel to plane BCGF? BCGF is this back one back here, the one that kind of looks like on the back side of the box. So the one that would be two segments that are parallel, that plane right there consists of these edges right here. And so two edges that would be parallel to that would be AD and DH. You could have also said EH or AE, so any one of those, they just happen to name those two right there, but you could have named that one and still been fine. Okay? Use the figure in problem 1 on the got it section. Which segments are parallel to AD? The ones that are parallel to AD would be BC, FG, and EH. Okay? Explain why FE and CD are not skewed. FE and CD are not skewed because if you'll notice, they're going the same direction. So that makes them parallel and not skewed. It is true, neither one of them are going to cross each other, but skew means it's got to go in a different direction. What is another pair of parallel lines? Oh gosh, you could pick any. You could pick DH and AE. You could pick EF and HG. There's lots of different ones that you could pick there. What are two segments parallel to plane DCGH? DCGH is, again, this right side over here. So two lines that would be parallel to that would be these over here. You could pick AB, you could pick EF, you could pick AE, you could pick BF. Any one of these that make up this left side would be parallel to the ones that make up this right side. All right? Hope that was helpful.